Hey guys, how you doing? It's Andy Elliott. Today I'm going to go over the 3 areas that all salesmen should focus on improving daily. Listen, these 3 things that I'm going to go over, they're very simple. Everything doesn't need to be reinvented, but everything needs to be focused on that's crucial to the skill set of a salesperson. Let me go over the 3 things with you. Number 1 is going to be your selling skill. These are the 3 skills, but number 1 is going to be the selling skill. This is number 2, people knowledge. If you want to improve, selling skill ultimately is everything. Why? Because guess what? If you don't know how to sell, you're definitely not going to be able to close anything. If you don't understand people knowledge, I don't care how much product knowledge you know. How many salesmen do we know that have tons of product knowledge? They have all the certifications to sell, but they bore people to death, right? With how much they know. People don't care about how much they know. Is product knowledge a bonus? Yes. People knowledge is a must. Our business is 95% people knowledge, 5% product knowledge. Those of you who differ with me, right? I get that. I'm glad that it's working for you, but guess what? That's not how it works most of the time. In my life, I sold used cars for 22 years. Did I sell new cars too? Yes, at the same time I did. But I never, ever was totally and completely consumed in product knowledge. I was consumed in people knowledge because people were the ones spending their money. I'm pretty common sense, right? There's EQ and IQ on understanding the new things that are coming out. Do I think that, yes, that's an important bonus to add? If you can understand people knowledge like the back of your hand, and you know product knowledge, that's beautiful. But if you only know product knowledge and you don't know people knowledge, you're screwed. You're a guy with a bunch of information that don't know how to sell it to nobody. So selling skills, people knowledge, then finishing it up with number 3, which is going to be attitude and motivation. Why? Because if you can think about what a top salesman 1%er looks like, he's a what? Very motivated, great attitude driven, extremely good salesman that knows how to deal with people, right or wrong. Guys, I'm telling you, here's the test, here's the answers to the test. These are 3 areas that salespeople should improve on daily, not once a week, not occasionally, not when they're bored, not when they have extra time, but daily. Selling skills, people knowledge, attitude and motivation. I want you to think about this. What are some of the new closes that you've learned in the last 30, 60, 90 days, 1 year, 5 years? Think about it. What are some of the new closes? Not the things that you learned when you started, but in the last 30 days, how many new closes have you learned? Think about it. How long have you been doing this? A year? Okay, when you first got in, right? The first 6 months, you learned 5 closes. How many have you learned the last 6 months? Think about it. Are you slowly trending back and not learning like you used to? Because now you're trading time for working instead of time for training? That won't work. That's a dead end. That is a disaster every single time. It ruins careers. You want a job, keep doing that. But I'll never see you on the career path. All right, number 2, we're going to talk about this. How about techniques, right, for overcoming objections? Prospecting, follow-up, negotiation methods, bringing in your own leads, word tracks, etc. How much of that have you focused on in the last 30, 60, 90? Think about it. Do you know something that you didn't know a month ago about any of these techniques? About all of them. Do you think that you could learn every single day a new way to do what? Handle a negotiation method? I do. I have 150 different ways I handle negotiation methods. I physically look at what my skill is every day and I say it's not enough. I need to know the next thing. And guess who I learn it from? I learn it from the highest players that are out there. I always go to deeper waters to play with bigger fish. That's what you need to do. Maybe inside of your store, no one else is hungry to grow. Come outside your store and join me, all right? There are literally hundreds of selling skills for sales professionals to learn and develop. Now listen to this. What does learn and develop mean? It means this. Do you know what a reflexive skill is? That's where when you learn something, you don't just learn it where like you're actually just able to say it now. You learn it where when someone says, oh no, well, we're not paying that, and you're like, boom. It's just reflexive. It's part of you now. You've learned it. I want to explain this to you. Let me read this again. There are literally hundreds. I didn't say a couple. I didn't say a dozen or a couple dozen. I said hundreds of selling skills for sales professionals to learn and develop. It takes repetition, practice, drilling, rehearsing to make them reflexive. If you say that you know a close, and then somebody comes up on the lot and there's like, hey, I need to think about it. And you're like, boom. You just go right back at them like it was just natural. Guess what happens? You'll close that customer down. If I teach you a move, if I'm like, boom, if you get hit in the right cheek, right, what you need to do is duck back and then come up with the left. If I tell you that and you're like, oh yeah, that sounds easy. If you don't practice that, somebody's going to come up and hit you in the right cheek and you're just going to get knocked out. But if you practice it over and over and over and over, guess what happens? Somebody's going to come up to pop you and guess what's going to happen? You're going to be like, boom. You're going to be like, oh man, I didn't know that happened. That's what selling's like. It's a beautiful thing. But you have to practice it. So let's keep going so you can figure out how to get there. There are no shortcuts. Oh man, I just lost a lot of you. Half you guys will get off the video right there. There are no shortcuts to developing selling skills. Decide which one of these, 1, 2, or 3, right, that you want to work on first. But choose one and start now. You must train for a minimum of 30 minutes a day. If you can't put in 30 minutes a day into your career so that in a year or 2 years from now you can be making $400,000 or $500,000 a year, are you kidding me? Do you know what the compound effect is? I say this all the time. It's just what happens over time when a person is relentlessly grinding and learning and training and outworking everybody. He becomes somebody that in a year or two, people don't even know how he was made. They're like, oh my God, man. That guy's so good. He was probably born that way. Totally gifted. No, you have no idea that guy had nothing. That guy had zero skill when he started. When you're born as a baby, are you born with skill? Do you think that a salesman is naturally born? No, a salesman is made. This is how 1%ers are made. All right, set yourself up for maximum impact on yourself financially. Like, complete your day before it begins. Most people don't have their day completed before it begins. Say, Andy, what does that mean to have your day completed before it begins? That means already have your day mapped out every 15 minutes on the hour on how your day is going to go till the end of the day. Have your day completed before it begins. Okay? Budget yourself, okay, to improve yourself. You have to have a budget on how much money you're going to spend on yourself to be willing to go to the next level. If there is no budget, I'm sorry, time won't get it. But you also have to budget time to improve yourself. You have to evaluate and adjust. Not having a plan always ends in disaster. Did you guys notice I said evaluate and adjust? Don't evaluate and adjust monthly. If it was me, I would evaluate and adjust quarterly. Why? Because I don't want you to make emotional decisions. If I tell you to post every single day 10 cars on Facebook, right? And you're like, all right, that's going to be part of my new training program. Here's the funny thing. If you did that every single day for 20 days a month, that'd be 200 cars a month. After 3 months, guess what that would be? That'd be 600 cars on Facebook. You will have sold 30 cars on Facebook. But can I tell you this? If you quit within the first 5 to 8 days, will you ever make it to those big numbers? Would you ever make it to maybe 50 cars on Facebook? Would you ever make it to selling that many cars? No, because most people, they take their day emotionally day by day. So I'm like, hey, you guys, I got this guy, he's killing it on Facebook, he's crushing it, which we do everywhere. And guess what? You guys are like, yeah, I want a piece of that. And then you post one day, 10 cars. And you're like, man, okay, I ain't got any leads. That was weird. I thought we were going to get leads. You're like, dude, it's your first day. What are you talking about? Guess what happens? Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you don't. But it's not luck we're looking for. We're looking for long-term compound effect skill. You do it again. You do it again. And 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 at the end of a quarter, which is 2.5 months, okay, which is 3 months, and you look up at 3 months and you're like, all right, 3 months, I've posted 10 cars a day on Facebook for 3 months straight. It just didn't pay out for me. I'm not going to do it again. Guess what? That's cool. I got you. But for you to do it 5 days and stop, guys, evaluate and adjust quarterly, please. Okay? Stop doing it on the weekly and stop stopping things that you're starting and then stopping right away when you don't see immediate results. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody talks about the millennial. It's not the millennial in it, it's just that you want it now, and I love that. Some of you can get it now, but some of you that don't, you're just beating through the wall and you're close to getting it, but you're gonna stop before you get it. Become addicted to the grind. So, the 3 areas that you guys have to realize: what does your skill set look like? What creates the ultimate top salesman in the country? It's selling skills, people knowledge, attitude, and motivation. Guys, focus on these every single day. Have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.